If you're looking to master the Two of Swords so deeply that you never have to look it up again, look no further. I'm Nicole with Fayside Tarot, and today I'm going to permanently burn this card into your memory. After you have a good understanding of this card, we're going to apply it to 3 different areas that you will commonly be doing readings, those being love, career, and spirituality, and then we'll take those meanings and we will reverse them. So let's jump right in. Go ahead and grab your Rider Waite Smith style tarot deck. This is mandatory. If you're not sure why this is so important to your learning process, I would like you to pause this video, go watch this one about the Ace of Swords, and then come back on over here and we'll get started. Grab your Two of Swords from your Rider Waite Smith style tarot deck and take a look at it. If you want, you can pause this video and really absorb everything going on in this card, identify all the pieces going on in here. Otherwise, you can just follow along with me and I'll point them all out for you right now. Take a look-see here. We're going to see a woman holding 2 very large swords in either hand across her body like this. She is also blindfolded. She is sitting in front of water. This is a very large body of water. And there are 2 different obstacles, stones, something going on in the middle here, and distant land. The goal here is to be able to look at this card and know the meaning just by seeing it. So when we see this card, we're going to remember that swords are about the mental plane. This is going to be about thoughts, communication, anything that is involving your brain and your intelligence. When you see these 2 swords across her chest like this, I want you to think this sword or that sword. This is the decision. It is this or that. There is no in between. This is a one or the other type decision. We're also going to notice that she is blindfolded. This is very significant because in this type of decision that is mental, we are not going to be relying on seeing what's ahead of us. This is a pretty blind decision. You aren't going to know the outcome of choosing one thing or the other. So you're going to have to rely on your thoughts and just being logical, and hopefully you're going to choose the right thing. This is further backed up by the water here. This water is behind the lady. As we explore tarot, you are going to discover that water is representative of emotion. This water is behind her. Out of sight, out of mind, we are not making an emotional decision. So when we see this card, we're going to be thinking a decision that is mental, not involving emotions. And notice here, these 2 little obstacles. Imagine that I just threw you into the water and you have to get to the other side over here. There's a current. Pretty nasty one. Look at all these little waves. Yeah, you're going to have some trouble swimming across there, don't you think? You're going to probably hit some rocks. So these are your obstacles. The decision that you're about to make is a hard one. There are going to be things that get in the way that make this harder, and getting to land on the other side, not an easy task. But whatever decision you make here is going to change your outcome. It is going to be how you get to the other side and land here. This is the second card in this suit. So this is towards the beginning. So I want you to think whatever decision you make here is going to impact the whole course of whatever is coming next. No pressure. The last thing to notice in this card here is the moon. As we explore tarot further, you'll notice some similarities between the cards where the moon can represent emotions, and sometimes that can represent fear. So when you see this moon, I want you to imagine that you're just a little kid and you're terrified of the dark and the moon is out and it's scary. So this is kind of casting an ominous read on this card where you know that this decision is very heavy, the outcome is scary. Adult decisions, they can be scary. The last thing I want to point out on this card are that these 2 swords are so big that they go out of the frame here. We don't even know where the ends of them are. This lady and these swords, I do not want to imagine how heavy it is to carry those. She's holding these swords here, blindfolded, in front of a random body of water. This cannot be a good experience. She is not going to be able to hold these swords for very long. This is a decision. It is a stalemate, but it can only last for so long. A decision has to be made eventually, and you will move forward. Okay, so now you understand this card, so let's apply it to areas that you will commonly be doing readings. We're going to start with everybody's favorite, or least favorite, love. How are we going to apply a stalemate decision that's going to impact the whole course of your relationship right now? Well, this might just be that fun little conversation of what are we, where either you're about to start dating this person or be catastrophically heartbroken. Or this could be as grandiose as having majorly different foundations of beliefs from a partner, and it's about to make or break this relationship. In friendships, because this doesn't have to be about love, This could be a friend telling you that you need to stop being flaky or they're not going to hang out with you anymore. Either get your stuff together or get gone is what it's saying. So remember, decisions in a relationship, right now you are stuck at the point of having to make it. So you just have to use your brain and hope for the best here. Now, let's apply this to career. So this is going to be about big career decisions that are going to impact the trajectory of your career. What could this be about? Well, this could be that moment where you're trying to decide, should I stay at this job or should I start applying to the next new best corporate soul-sucking job? Just kidding. Please. Follow your passions. I am trying my best. This could be a moment in your career where you are tasked with making a decision that's going to impact the company and how they move forward. So maybe whether or not you do a good job here determines whether you are successful in getting a raise or you are now fired. So either or in your career, and right now you have to make the decision. It is big and it is scary. The Two of Swords in career could also be about two employees that are just bickering, fighting nonstop, and somehow now it's your problem. You have to figure out how to get this person and this person to come to an agreement, or it's just going to be a living nightmare. There are just endless ways to hate your job. So now let's apply this card to spirituality. When we're thinking about spiritual decisions that are going to impact you going forward, we're going to be thinking about different beliefs, this or that are weighing on you, and you're not sure which one is the right one for you. With the nature of this card being a duality, with it being one or the other, this might be about feeling the urge to label yourself and put yourself in one box or the other. Maybe this is about exploring different religions and feeling like you need to identify with one belief. This is going to be about choosing, it's going to be about spirituality, and it's going to shape who you are and the path that you take going forward. This could also be about the big existential crisis moment where you wonder, what on earth can I do to actually feel fulfilled in life?
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
It's a pretty big question. And maybe there are even more options than two. Sometimes in this card, we only see two options, even though maybe there is a hidden third option. So when we're doing spirituality readings with the Two of Swords, we're going to be thinking about pretty weighty stuff. We're going to be thinking about two massively heavy swords that are out of the frame of the card. So think big when you think spirituality and the Two of Swords. Okay, great. So you understand this card upright, so now let's reverse it. Remember, when we're doing reversals, this can mean opposite, but it can also be a blockage, it can be a delay, or it can just be something kind of off. Just explore with different ways to make this card kind of wrong. If we're thinking decisions and relationships and we're also putting in blockages and delays, we'll be thinking about maybe that situation where you're avoiding having a conversation with someone because you know having this conversation is going to impact the outcome of your relationship. Maybe you're about to have a really serious talk. Maybe you know an ultimatum is coming. And if you have this conversation now, it might end up in a breakup. That could be the Two of Swords reversed. You are not wanting to make this decision. You are putting it off as long as possible. We are making this card as dramatic and drawn out as possible. The Two of Swords reversed in relationships can be that moment that you absolutely ghosted your date, and now you don't have to make any decisions because you're gone. This could be the moment where you don't want to move in, you don't want to take that next step. And in that situation, one decision or the other is going to impact the course of your relationship. So make a choice. Good luck, no pressure. This card could also be about two different people. That's another way to interpret this duality of this or that. This could be two people, and maybe one person really needs to be close to the other person, to have conversations, to talk things out, and the other person is the kind of person that really just needs space. This could be a rough dynamic pulling between one side and the other, where you just cannot find a decision that's good for your relationship. That's another way that you can interpret this card. What are we going to do about this card reversed in career? We're going to be thinking about blockages, postponement, opposites in your career. This could be that moment that you are so overwhelmed you don't know where to start, so you just don't. You don't have to make a decision if you don't work there anymore, right? This card can be about meetings that actually should have been meetings, not just emails, and you keep on ghosting the meetings. You are not making an effort to be there, and no decision is ever made. As an opposite, though, this card could be completely different. This could be the moment where you do decide, or the moment right before you do decide. This is when you finally have clarity and you know how you want to move forward, you just haven't done it yet. That's a good opposite reading of this. You have now released the stalemate. You have made the decision and you're ready to move forward onto the Three of Swords. And now let's look at spirituality. We're going to be thinking about blockages in spirituality making this decision even harder. So make it more dramatic. Maybe there's a lot of outside sources that are telling you what to believe or what not to believe or forcing you to fit in a box that just isn't for you. That could be the Two of Swords reversed. You don't want to make one decision, you don't want to make another, and maybe none of those options are good for you. You really want that third other hidden option, and it's just not an option for you right now. That could be the Two of Swords reversed in spirituality. Or maybe this is a really deep depression and you can't figure out what you want to do with life, what you want to believe in. Maybe you aren't finding that you have anything that you particularly believe in. This can be a really weighty card reversed. It can be about not feeling like you have options going forward. Deliver this card with kindness when you see it in a reading about spirituality. And pro tip, when you're giving a really hard reading, tell people how they can change from it, how they can survive it. Give them advice instead of just telling them they're about to have the worst day of their lives. I'd love to hear about any crazy readings you've had below of this card upright or reversed. And in the meantime, don't make any stupid decisions, and I'll see you next time.